Everybody do it out of turn. I say here's about time, cause nobody denies it. You and I both just have our views assumed. You are not me, you're not alone. You are not my downfall either. If your voices will fill the sky, strangers say hello to me. Tomorrow their names will be carved on the stone. We're going home, and I'm a terrible liar. Forgive me, that's not the art of betrayal. For the sake of the day, keep crying out. Swing the soul, swing the soul, swing the freaking soul down. Hellfire, hellfire, bring your blood down. Hellfire, 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 hellfire. All the men are going down with us. Those who dream of heaven. Those who dream of heaven never last very long. The running flash and dirty sky infect my wounds. Forgive me, just get me.
Tournament's Road to EVO 2024 for Guilty Gear Strive here today. Super excited. I am Jadelyn and I'm joined by Saki Sakura. Saki, how are you on this fine day?
I am amazing. I'm so excited to see some hype Guilty Gear Strive matches, Jadelyn. It's going to be quite blazing.
It is going to be absolutely ridiculous. We have a really diverse bracket as far as both players and as far as the characters go. So let's take a look at that right now. In the top half of our bracket, we've got Bean, JayOh, Aaron, and Christian Crab. And that's going to be a Chip, Biken, Elfelt, and Asuka. So what do we have on the second half of our bracket here?
Of course, so we have FourFaceButtons, Florida's favorite May player, versus ShinyEspeon, followed by Lshore and the Leo King himself, MFCR.
This is just a ridiculous bracket, but I think it's going to also showcase exactly what we have here to offer in NA as they are fighting for this first place $300 and EVO travel package. So what is the EVO travel package? That is flight, hotel, food, ground transportation to and from the airport, and the event badge, which is exactly what you want to get to EVO Las Vegas 2024. And the rest of it, of course, everybody is going to walk away with a little bit of something in their pockets. But I'm super duper excited. What are you looking forward to most in this Guilty Gear Strive bracket here today?
Honestly, we're going to see a lot of character loyalties in this bracket tonight. We got Chip loyalties, we got Biken loyalties, we got May loyalties, and honestly, right now, with the way Guilty Gear Strive has just been playing, you know, it's a good time for all of these characters to really show out how strong they are in the players' hands.
Right. So there's something I brought up in the rehearsal, and I want to know what you think. Slayer is legal as of this week. Just so you know, when a character comes out, you can't play him for 2 weeks, and so he's been out for a minute now. Do you think we're going to get any secret Slayers today?
I have a feeling there's going to be an attempt to at least sneak in a Slayer or two. You know, Slayer being this character that was brought back from recent previous games. It's going to be really nice to see. But before we even get into any Slayer shenanigans, let's check out the player cards. And the first of our match is going to be Bean versus JayOh. That's your Chip and your Biken, Jadelyn.
I like this. So Bean's been playing for a ridiculously long time. It's going to be awesome. So there is age 23 from New York. You know, for the way that he plays like a very, very seasoned player, but again, very young, but has really shown up and shown out on that on that Chip, excuse me. Tell me a little bit about JayOh.
JayOh, also from New York, you know, so New York better be rising up for your players today. Also has a streaming career, it seems, on Twitch as well. So definitely be sure to check out these players during their journeys as well. But you know, Jalen, we were talking about this a little bit right before the show started because we are familiar with a couple of these players. The Chip versus Baiken matchup. You know, that's an explosive match, right?
Yeah, it's incredibly explosive. So in case you aren't familiar with the characters, Chip, lots and lots and lots of damage, very, very fast, but also is made of tissue paper, so if you hit him, he's gonna fall apart. Whereas Baiken, what you're looking for a lot with her is, you know, is she going to land any of those kabari grabs? Is she going to be able to get those tatami gaishis? But we don't have enough time to pontificate about all this. We're getting into it right now on PlayStation Tournament's Road to EVO 2024 for Guilty Gear Strive in NA.
Absolutely. Already starting off with the backdash and cornering JayOh is where Bean is starting up that pressure, opening up, and already heading into the overdrive for the wall break. It's going to be a hard knockdown, and still JayOh locked out of that burst and having to hold all of this pressure, but finally gets the counter hit.
Yeah, that was a long time for JayOh not to be able to do anything, but, you know, being so expertly dismantling this entire JayOh play, yeah, because of the extra wall damage on the area shift, he was going to be able to take that first round. These are all going to be 3 out of 5s, as is tradition in Guilty Gear, so strap in because we got a lot of games ahead of us. But yeah, finally gets to use that burst as JayOh, but kind of paying rent in this corner right now, has not been able to win.
And he gets a counter hit, but that burst Bean has been locking down since the first round, able to be able to use it. And again, into this overdrive for the wall break. Now, because of how Baiken works and her health, she still has a lot of defensive properties that are going to be able to substantiate that damage. But we got the parry. That is a one-frame parry into the fast RC, Roman cancel, and then setting up a safe jump for the tatami mat. But Bean's ready.
Yeah, Bean was ready with an RC of their own into the dust and just into that top dust and then moved on forward. And that's going to be one game for Bean. So Chip did what Chip does best. It was absolutely, you know, set the tempo, set the pacing, and just take it over. And just like that, start with a counter hit, forces JayOh to burst immediately.
Yeah, I love some of the round starter options for Bean has been able to use, but we do catch it with the Kabari slash. Now this is going to tether here for JayOh, and we're going to go right into Baiken's overdrive. It's going to not only wall break, but again, a safe jump, more than likely into the tatami. But no, we actually called out the TP instead, but still gets opened up by that Rekka on the low.
Yeah, I like the high-low that that Bean is going for here against JayOh. Yeah, once again, the high-low, what a mix-up. Yeah, gonna be able to use the overdrive. The wall stick damage is going to go back from whence we came, and then we get to just, you know, what's the option here? Just rush forward. Ooh, that dust was really interesting. PRC is challenged, though. RC, though, the YRC catches Bean on the wall. That's huge, but still had their burst, and now is going to be able to take the round back. It looked so good for JayOh in the beginning, but Bean just expertly wove through this, especially with that high-low option.
Yeah, that's the one thing about Chip is, yes, you can get those damages in, and it's going to be as optimal as possible because he is that glass cannon, but when you give him an opportunity to open you up, just like we're seeing again here, that wall break from the overdrive and starting up on pressure, you really have to hold all of that, and any of your challenges, they're going to get eaten up like this if you're not timing it right or focused on those gaps. Because of the wall break, though, there's going to be some positive tension, almost double, and great
that's unfortunate.
burst.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the point of the burst, but because, you know, Bean had been so aggressive going towards JayOh, like, oh yeah, if I use my burst now, I'm going to be able to knock him backwards. Unfortunately, that got you killed. But now we're getting into the third game here, which is impressive because we haven't really been playing all that long. JayOh just hasn't gotten a chance. They got like one chance in the first round of the second game, but uses their burst again. But Bean just using one move over and over and over again. But you know what? It's working.
Yeah, that far slash is a great OS to be able to not only space out and kind of see what your options are, but also when it hits, it's that counter hit that's going to be able to go. And that's our first perfect of the night. These high octane matches, this is normal for Guilty Gear almost.
This is normal for Bean, honestly. Like, this is how Bean plays. Bean is so fast. And just like that, taking out JayOh's health pool once again, he's been able to build up so much tension every single time and is able to, you know, get that wall break immediately, use the overdrive. The overhead into the RC with the drift was so clean. Oh my gosh, is JayOh going to be able to use their burst? Do they want to use their burst? They're FDing. Okay, yeah, the 2H is going to be able to work out a little bit. There's the burst.
Oh, and we have the Kabari tether as well. This is a huge opportunity for JayOh. Bean's gonna have to use that purple, the blue RC, but Bean was ready for it. Stayed still and was able to get the close slash and cleaning it up with a very, very clean 3-0 victory, as Bean will be moving on to the winner's side semis and knocking down JayOh already to the loser's side. Jalen, that was pretty much what I expected from Bean in terms of explosiveness, but you gotta hand it to JayOh trying to hold all of that defense and pressure. It was like really tough.
That was utterly ridiculous. Like, I was trying to find a nicer way to say it, but you can't. Like, the way that Bean was playing was absolutely insane. I mean, you look at it, I mean, so we've been on air for not particularly long, and it's just like, okay, guess that first game's done. Okie dokie. It went really, really quickly, and to really just highlight a little bit of what Bean was doing, like you had pointed out, Saki, that far slash there, again, over and over and over again, it was able to push JayOh back into the corner. He was able to build up consistent amounts of tension, so he was able to use the overdrive when he got to the wall every time, use that extra wall damage to get the area shift. His tap dusts were really good. In particular, it might be this one. There's a PRC, and then there's a BRC exchange afterwards. Yeah, here it is, the PRC BRC, which was really, really excellently done to counter everything that JayOh had. Bean is ready to win that trip to EVO 2024.
And that's what you kind of have to be. This is where you're starting to see that high-level Strive gameplay, right? Utilizing your movement to your knowledge. It's interesting. I was having conversations with some beginner players, and they were like, how do you get better at Strive? Like, what do you do to get to the level of some of these pro players? And truthfully, after you've mastered your character, it doesn't stop there. You got to master those Roman cancels. You got to master the movement, because literally, as you could see with Bean, that purple RC with the blue RC exchange, it's because of that dash blocking that these pro players are doing and able to just keep control of their movement to then capitalize it for a win like this. So, if you're not good with your movement, that's a sign that you got to start prepping before you head to EVO.
Yeah, and another thing that you can do too is, participate in tournaments. For example, there's a lot of tournaments on PlayStation that you can enter for free via your console, which is actually how all of these players entered here for this Road to EVO 2024. So that's a thing that you can do through your console. And right now, though, we don't have time to talk about that because we're getting into our next one. We've got Aaron on the Elfelt versus Christian Crab on the Asuka. This is going to be another explosive match, but we have Aaron Brown, age 18 from California, making it all the way to this top 8 on the Elfeld. The character has been out for a hot minute now, but is in one of the more recent seasons, and you can follow them there on their socials.
And then we also have Christian Crab on the Asuka over on the YouTube side, also streaming, and definitely check out their socials. Now, Asuka being literally the card-dealing character of the game. I don't think there's quite any other character I've ever seen in a fighting game on the same level as Asuka, but once you have a Master Asuka on the playing field, that's actually a really scary spot between all the cubes that you're going to have to deal with, all of the test cases. There is almost, 3 different test cases that you're going to be cycling through for all of those spells. Plus, if that's not enough, Jadelyn, Asuka also has the entire magic shield on his health bar to help take out all of the damage that he may be receiving on that receiving end.
Right, so when Asuka is out of mana, which is when you're going to see that blue bar around his health bar go away, he's going to take double damage, and that's exactly when you're going to want to go in on that Elfelt. And so, yes, Asuka has a lot of things going on, and we're going to highlight a lot of that as we go through that particular match. You do want to be looking out for the this test cases. Deck of cards is sometimes what you're going to hear it called. And they're different colors. So just so you know, like the yellowy one, that's his first test case. The green one is a second one. The blue one is his third one. Oftentimes you're going to see players try to go straight for that blue one because the mix potential in the blue test case, which is his third test case, is absolutely ridiculous. But on the other side, you've got Elfelt, who has changed a lot from her Rev 2 version and is a Rekka-based character. So you're going to see a lot of this sort of hop movement, and then you're just going to see hit after hit after hit after hit. And I'm really I'm really curious to see how this goes into each other because Asuka, when he first came out, wasn't played particularly often because he is incredibly complex, and you do need to understand what all of the different cards mean, how you're loading them into your different player slots and things like that. But since he has been introduced, which has been at least a year and a half now, a lot of people are starting to play him, and we're starting to see, excuse me, in particular, a little bit of a rise for him.
I do agree with you there, and I think the trickiest part here for your Elfelt and for Aaron is truthfully, how are you going to get through those cubes? You know, another thing too about what you mentioned, those test cases, is the fact that they also amp up how fast the cubes go. And also how slow they go. It's all about the gravitational magic. So we're definitely going to be seeing both players try to test each other out in the beginning, and it really comes down to who implements their pressure the most. And I'm hoping here with Christian Crab able to deal with that Rekka and not get caught in the corner. And oh wow, right when we just started explosively, Aaron was ready to catch it off of that explosion and corner Christian Crab here in the corner.
Which is excellent. So one thing to note is that Asuka can lose mana just by getting hit. So because Christian was stuck in the corner, he lost all his mana, which means he can't cast spells. So he's totally gutted right now. And you can see just like that, Aaron in with a perfect. Aaron is ready for this matchup, and you love to see it.
That was quite a perfect as well, and like you mentioned, ready to go. But we have a grab here from Christian Crab, and we also got switched to the test case. And this is going to be it, but we have that forward slash reach and backdashing away, but that 2D is quite potent from Asuka. The squares are coming out, but we have that close slash anti-air that's also going to get a counter hit and a huge corner carry with a 2K ender before the burst.
Yeah, and we also saw, oh yeah, that slide is so good, and you had the RC as well, 2K2D, and then using a little bit of that bomb chocolate, which is a little bomb that you can cross up with, really good, but you had the slow-moving cube, which is going to get your wall break now. Asuka has plenty of mana to work with right now. Ooh, almost doesn't. Woohoo! Be able to BRC after the PRC, get out of there does Aaron, but that's going to be one on the board for Christian Crab now. We are 1-1. Round opener, I'm curious, does he go straight into test case 3? Yep, went straight into test case 3. That's that blue number in the corner that you've got there. He's got really good spells down there at the bottom.
Yeah, and as you can see, they're great for corner carry and also great for pressure. And a really nice safe jump already forcing Aaron to use their burst. And it's going to be dangerous. We're going to go into this overdrive, which allows Asuka to actually pick their cards and be able to restock. And the double cubes do go out. The water cube plus the 2K and 222D will be able to catch them off. The tap dust to continue the combo. And then this cube as well does force a side switch, but it's still enough to set up the assault on the cubes for the finish.
That was really good stuff from Christian. Now, Aaron in that first round obviously got a perfect, was very ready for what Asuka was bringing out and putting onto the table, and succeeded because they never let Christian Crab play the game. And while that sounds incredibly obvious, it was necessary for that win because it eliminated Asuka's mana pool and just was devastating to his health bar. But now Christian Crab seems to have a better foothold on it, is able to get into test case 3 immediately every time now. And like I said, the mix potential in this test case is huge. And you're seeing that right now. You're getting lots of different hits. You're getting a lot of gravitational control. That's what the different little wands mean. And you can sort of tell what they do by the indicator next to them. And he's building up a ton of tension. Now he's going to be able to select the cards that he wants from the spell and is just doing tons of damage.
This is the scary part about Asuka, is that he can literally recharge. You know, something we were also noticing here from Christian Crab, using that health to actually recharge his mana to continue the pressure. And that was a cross up there from Christian Crab, who's now already setting up the wand, and that is a gravitational, so all of those cubes are gonna be stuck in that place, and you are gonna have to hold all of that right there from the pressure, the deflect shield, and then still getting punished for it. And the wall break, we're gonna go into the overdrive cube. Is it enough? And it is, as Christian Crab already cleans this up in the second game.
That was so fast. Oh my goodness. If you're Aaron, yeah, I mean, I guess you press rematch, you just go for it. Yeah, just trying to swing out there with that slash and not really getting anything for it. I want to see the thing that worked for them so well initially was using, like, going into the Rekkas immediately, but they're just not getting a chance. You have to use that burst defensively once again. Yeah, using the projectile, that's nice. It's a good change of pace, making Christian Krab sort of guess where they're trying to send up, but what a sandwich situation from Christian, and then you have to block all these cubes. You didn't block them, sorry.
Nope, not at all. You know, this is another thing too. You pointed out something so interesting for Aaron. You know, these Rekka starts, some of these projectiles, it's a start. But notice, no hard knockdowns are achieved because of these starts. Hopefully with this counter hit, with the dash cancel, this is a chance to actually start it up and create that mix-up potential, as Christian Krab has been able to literally take advantage of even the soft knockdowns to reload. Look at all the cards already replenished and still with a little bit of mana to work with and utilizing their health for it. That blue RC though is gonna catch, and we got it. The shield is gone for right now.
Yeah, this is a really, really big opportunity for Aaron. They're using that Bomb Bomb Chocolat. So, yep, and once again, Bomb Bomb Chocolat. You had the YRC, though, and unfortunately, Aaron is losing a lot of tension from FDing. You know, just trying to get stuff. Oh, Deflect Shield came out. That could have been extremely risky, and now Christian Krab has mana back. Big hit trying to cross the entire stage at this point. Yeah, gets hit by that slow-moving cube. If Christian plays his cards right, haha, joke, you're going to be able to close this out, but he doesn't be able to get it. Yeah, the teleport though, and then the sweep afterwards is going to be able to get that one. And so that means Christian Krab, just like that, in a very, very quick, not clean this time, but a very quick 3-0 is going to move forward to the winners semis.
Yeah, you know, kind of looking back at all of that match there, Jadelyn, like we mentioned, it's about establishing your hard knockdowns. We saw a little bit of good potential there from Aaron, but it's really all it came down to just how lethal some of those recharges and those restocks on the cards were all in favor. Looking back at this replay here, you know, this is the first round of that last game from Aaron. Was able to solidify a very clean, almost perfect, and going forward, those hard knockdowns with that close-up pressure, but you know, we then see Christian Krab, who's actually able to summon all of these cubes, get some side switch, restock, go for dash cancels, and then just clean it all up. And another thing as well, this entire portion right here was what was dangerous. You know, you're using all of these resources, you're using Deflect Shield, that is half of your burst bar already gone, and plus the fact that Elfeld is a very almost cannon as well, in terms of a glass cannon rather. That was a lot of damage already gone and off the table, and the cleanup here from Christian Krab didn't have enough to continue as far as spells go, but had the burst to stop the advancement and clean it up for the ending. And you know, one thing to also kind of remember here is that with the season 3 changes at the beginning, we have Wild Assault, right? So that's already going to be locking you out of your burst, out of your potential opportunity to escape, and also options for defense. But like we saw there for Aaron, not working out too well as we hoped.
Yeah, now, of course, Aaron not going to be out of it yet. Everybody is starting in the winner's side of this bracket, which we're going to take a look at right now so you can see how we've been progressing thus far. So you can see Bean 3-0 against JayOh, and then, of course, we have, you know, Christian Krab against Aaron there, and then you have Bean and Christian Krab will be fighting in that winner semis. Now, on the lower part of the bracket, you can see Aaron and JayOh will be waiting to fight each other, but we still have 4 players in the winner side of this bracket that we have not gotten to see yet. FourFaceButtons, and here they are, FourFaceButtons and ShinyEspeon. Very, very excited for this one in particular. Last year, I spent a lot of time talking to FourFaceButtons at EVO 2023, and they really wanted to be able to show off what they did. They're from Florida, like you said, Saki, your side of the town, and playing May, have played May forever and ever, amen, and wants to show here that they are, and they have what it takes to be the Road to EVO 2024 Guilty Gear Strive NA player.
And up next, their opponent is going to be ShinyEspeon. It's going to be Ricardo, age 24, from California, and there you can follow their socials, playing the Bridget. Now, I gotta say, Jadelyn, Bridget, I love the attention she's been getting. I love that she is literally almost the main character, secondary to Soul. So it's been awesome to see Bridget players really come out for Guilty Gear Strive since her release. And looking at the May Bridget matchup, what do you expect from it?
See, For this one, just because I know how FourFaceButtons plays a little bit better, because FourFaceButtons Mei is extremely aggressive. It's gonna be Tatsiki the entire time, and just lots of dolphins and lots of screaming. And because FourFaceButtons, his entire goal is to not let you play. His aggression is almost unmatched in any Mei player that I've seen. So as a Bridget coming into this, knowing how aggressive FourFace is going to be on that Mei, I'm expecting a lot of the yo-yos that do damage, particularly on the way back. So you're setting up a lot of different traps, using a lot of your DPs to stop some of the aggression, some of that incoming like assertion of pressure and things like that, but also making sure that, you know, you're interspersing that rock the baby, the command grab, so that you are not becoming predictable, because if you become predictable against FourFaceButtons, you are absolutely dead. You have no life. You're done. See you in the lower bracket.
That is very true. One thing I found interesting from studying FourFaceButtons throughout literally, I want to say the last 2 years in Strive, because they've been to EVO, they've been to EVO Japan, they've been to all of these tournaments. So they're a very well-rounded competitive player. Definitely the Season 3 changes for Mei, which added the cancelable move off of her many dolphins. That's actually going to play a big part, because something about FourFaceButtons is, yeah, he has the standard, we're going to use the Roman cancels to help establish pressure, but really what he just thrives off is off of those cancels and into that overhead kiss, and just extremely definitely guessing your buttons or guessing your options against Totsugeki and the Dolphins and everything that Mei throws at you. So this is going to be probably a tough matchup here for ShinyEspeon, but it's like you said, Bridget also has her set of skills and set of pressure that she can take advantage of during mid-screen and even full-screen ranges.
This is the battle of the really cute coats. Like, honestly, Guilty Gear Strive fashion is kind of unmatched. But we're going to get into it now. FourFaceButtons on the Mei, ShinyEspeon on our Bridget. And then that's what I want to see from a Bridget, is a huge counter hit and forcing FourFaceButtons to use that burst pretty much immediately. Yeah, stopping this air avenue of approach is really, really huge too, because FourFaceButtons does love to use air dashing. ShinyEspeon knows the way they play, and I love that sort of knowledge. The RC is going to be able to get the wall break too. FourFaceButtons has a lot to do in this round if they want to come back from it, but they may just go ahead and reset for the next round. YRC is going to throw ShinyEspeon back though.
This is a counter. We're going to do the Drift RC up to get an extension from there. We do get that overhead, but a quick cancel into the charge vertical dolphin, and that's going to already do that wall break. Both players with a burst. We're going to do a double jump there to try to avoid the overdrive and then dash right back in. Like you mentioned, FourFaceButton utilizing that movement, but it is ShinyEspeon who's able to stub it.
That was, oof, I was real worried for ShinyEspeon for a hot 2 seconds there, but ShinyEspeon using that kickstart my heart to just close the distance. The overhead, there it is, the command grab, but that's what I said, use Rock the Baby when you're least expecting it. That's the first time we've seen it, so now FourFaceButtons is going to be wondering if they're gonna have to guess for that. Uses the burst pretty much immediately. The overdrive does not connect though. FourFaceButtons was ready for it.
Yep, that 2K2D has been catching FourFaceButtons plenty of times straight into the yo-yo as well. And again, throwing it out, trying to go for the air. We do get the counter hit, but we put ourselves in the corner. We still get that kickstart my heart with the close slash to end it all, and the perfect to start off this first game against FourFaceButtons.
ShinyEspeon came in here ready to play. Sheesh, I love that. And they're just right back into it. I know FourFaceButtons is like, I don't like how that went on. So what I do want to see from FourFaceButtons though is be very aware of the fact that every entrance that they've pretty much done so far is from the air. Like they're using that air dash repeatedly, and ShinyEspeon is catching it.
We are seeing a lot of good catches here from FourFaceButtons. Waited patiently just in case ShinyEspeon went up with some wake-up starters. And then backing away, gets the slide after the blue RC, and then charges up the anchor. I think ShinyEspeon here is going to definitely save on that burst, using it for the next round, or having it available for the next round. Great first round from FourFaceButtons to respond, already charging up Totsugeki, and then going for the dash as well to kind of play the air-to-air, but it is ShinyEspeon. Does get hit after the slide.
Right, big counter hit coming out there for both players actually, and then yep, there's the air dashing going over now, and ShinyEspeon getting huge counter hits once again. The RC to, well, I thought it was going to continue the combo, but the Totsugeki to get out. Oh, what an aggressive burst to come out of there, get stuck in the corner. Yet FourFaceButtons is able to cross up, use the Totsugeki once again. Oh my gosh, they are approximately everywhere on the screen the entire time. That upward drift RC is going to catch ShinyEspeon using another RC. Gosh, that combo extension was so slick from FourFaceButtons. And just like that, puts one on our board. Our first 1-1.
Indeed.
Finally!
Indeed. That is definitely what I expected from both of these players. Notice again, FourFaceButtons utilizing RC mostly to extend those combo hits, and May does a lot of damage. Granted, Bridget, not as much of a glass cannon like Milia, for example, but also has to hold all of that and can be very dangerous. But we now have the Rollerblade stopping a throw tech there to force the burst from ShinyEspeon. FourFaceButtons needs to get out of this corner though, and is successful at that.
I'm surprised that ShinyEspeon isn't countering a lot of this air movement from FourFaceButtons like they did in the first game, because that gave them a lot of good advantage. YRC is going to reset the damage. Oh, I like that back and forth from FourFaceButtons. The air movement was extremely tricky. Yeah, going to get that huge counter hit from the air. Totsugeki backdash was not caught, and that means it's ShinyEspeon's turn again, though. The RC, excuse me, is going to connect there. Going to get that wall bounce damage. It does reset a little bit. Rock-a-da-baby, gonna get you, though. It's been 5 rounds. What did you think?
I always get hit by that command grab. It's so subtle, and you're just like, oh, it's not gonna come out. It's gonna take some time. The bridge is definitely throwing out these yo-yos, but nope, coming through, especially in the corner. Beautiful 6P as well. Those invulnerable frames able to actually catch FourFaceButtons in the air. We are trying to see a little bit of that contest, a bit backdash as well to avoid any of the punishes from the slide anchor. Got Mr. Yodazara trying to go throughout that volleyball, but it's not going to work this time as ShinyEspeon does land the hit in and goes for the red Roman cancel drift up as well to continue and get that wall break.
This is really good stuff from ShinyEspeon. I like what they're doing. The PRC is going to catch and just go straight into a throw. A really solid idea from FourFaceButtons. Just trying to get any of these anchor hits, but ShinyEspeon is really weaving through with these different reversal options there. Yep, 2K2D is going to connect, and then catches the FD. So that means ShinyEspeon is now up 1 over FourFaceButtons in this set. It's really back and forth right now, Saki, and we don't have time to reflect on that match. We'll reflect when we get to see the replay, because right now we're already back into it with a regular throw and a gold burst. FourFaceButtons' favorite. I used to keep track of how many gold bursts he gets, but we've got our first one for the night. Oh, the DP does not connect for ShinyEspeon.
Yeah, there was also a missed punished opportunity there from FourFaceButtons, but we have the blue RC that also staggers you once you get hit by it. Great block on the charge does to avoid having to be lift off, and then again that purple RC to catch that 6P counter hit. And again, the continuation, this pressure right here from ShinyEspeon to keep FourFace locked down and only being able to really jump in place, trying to somehow get a straight hit, finally lands it, but not going to be able to convert off of it.
The Arasugawa is going to be able to work that beach ball from downtown. Yeah, and now they're both using the air dashes. I really like this tricky back and forth air dash movement from FourFaceButtons. FourFaceButtons forcing ShinyEspeon almost into a negative tension state, which was really interesting. We do get a brief counter hit here. They are dangerously close to both being at the same health. There is a burst available, not if you get command grab mid-screen, my friend. But that does mean that the burst is going to carry through for FourFaceButtons, and they have that advantage, whereas ShinyEspeon only has about 75% of that gauge currently.
Because of the hit stun, was able to get the grab. Another gold burst. That's the second one. Jadelyn able to accomplish
We got
it.
2.
And
I'm going to start making a list.
Yeah, we got that too. First one goes the stagger pressure and then into the overhead kiss to get the full wall breakdown, charging up that anchor to get the full damage.
Nice, just air 5, like the JP is coming out. Yep, and then once again, when you saw the damage on the yo-yo coming back, RC is exchanged with the YRC, and then you're going to get the burst coming, or I'm sorry, the dust. Excuse me, this is so hot-paced. Oh my gosh. But then we get the deflect shield, which was effective. However, ShinyEspeon is right back in there immediately, and then going to be able to close it out very cleanly. 3-1 over FourFaceButtons. ShinyEspeon showing how Bridget can really shine in a matchup and against a player as aggressive as FourFaceButtons.
That is very true. You know, we were talking about it all throughout the match. Again, honestly, that match was a perfect example of the movement that you're going to have to deal with when you're playing against a player like FourFaceButton and also a player like ShinyEspeon. It was the battle of who can get in the first and who was able to actually evade each other the best. And taking a look back at this replay, Jalen, it was exactly that, as we're going to see all of that pressure from the 2K2D being the best button, rather series of buttons in this side of town. And again, trying to stop FourFaceButtons from really trying to go for backdash, getting anchor charges, or even getting golfing.
Yeah, and what we're seeing a lot here, I want everybody to particularly pay attention to FourFaceButton's air movement, where he started varying the way that he was, not just using the air dash to go forward, but also to go backwards, and then would re-jump again and, change it up with maybe an RC or something like that. Again, looking at their bursts, and then this cross up here from ShinyEspeon was excellently done, using the yo-yo damage to either do damage outgoing or just to create the threat, having it come back as well. So that deflect shield worked really well since the Season 3 change, and was able to, really fight it out. It was very, very close, but ultimately ShinyEspeon is the one going to be moving on, and FourFaceButtons will be going down to the lower bracket.
Yeah, a lot of utilization of, again, just setting up that yo-yo, that deflect shield. One thing that a lot of players, especially new, yes, it's that defensive mechanic, but you do have to be very careful because it doesn't necessarily leave you with your turn specifically. Yes, it pushes your opponent back, but if your opponent's far back, like we saw there from ShinyEspeon, and you try to go for any backdash or any type of move right after and take back your turn, you are open to that counter hit state, especially for Bridget, who has a very good far slash and able to actually really utilize roller skates as well to get in and then really complete the damage. But going on into our next match, this is going to be the final match of the winners round 1 side, and it's going to be Lshore versus MFCR, and we got probably the most debated character on screen today. It's going to be Gold Lewis from Lshore, rocking with MFCR's Leo, and again from Michigan, age 28. That Gold Lewis is going to be quite a danger factor, especially with the White Wild Assault. Once again, that most discussed character and move so far in the Guilty Gear Strive community.
Yeah, I wish the camera had been on my face when I saw this match, because I was like, oh, this is going to be a whole time. But we've got MFCR Miguel from Florida, age 23. You can follow him on I'm MFCR. Notably, the Leo player has been playing Leo in multiple brackets across multiple different majors for quite some time during Guilty Gear Strive's lifespan. So the face that I made was, ooh, just so that you know. I don't want to hide that from you, because this match, so Leo, another very, very notable player, NY Tempest, of course, who's been winning thing after thing after thing after thing after thing with Leo, has really shown that this character has not only high damage potential, but also has incredible staying power throughout the Guilty Gear franchise. Gold Lewis, though, has just this, as my French counterparts would say, the je ne sais quoi. He's just got a little something. And he has been, taking names since his introduction into the Guilty Gear cast, in particular because he does have an entire moveset that can just put you on the back foot the entire time. Could Gold Lewis be the one who stands in Leo's way? We're going to find out right now on PlayStation Tournament's Road to EVO 2024.
Yes, indeed. We're going to see how well that goes in. Now there goes the White Wild Assault. Has that invisibility frame right at the startup and also leaves you very plus, but MFCR believes in the DP, my beloved. Sets up the sentry turret as well from Lshore. He's going to be able to get the Behemoth Tycoon, but MFCR responds with the grab and is already going to be able to get that stagger pressure and the wall break too, locking Lshore out of their burst before the next screen.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for those Behemoth Typhoon moves. Those Behemoth Typhoon moves are ones that just where he's swinging the coffin really big, in case you did not know what those look like. But the turbulence into the back turn stance is going to be huge, with the overhead from MFCR going to be, close this out with the overdrive, because otherwise it wouldn't quite have done enough damage. Lshore, as much as they did such a good job coming through, but man, Oh boy, MFCR is doing a spectacular job in seeing that orange Wild Assault. Why did they give Leo orange Wild Assault? I don't know, because it does a lot of damage. And he is able to close the distance so much and get absolutely grabbed and dunked.
We're going to get that wall slump as well, so this is a great opportunity for MFCR, forcing Lshore to go for their burst and then be able to hold on to the full bar of tension. Is going to be able to cash out with the red Roman cancel and should be able to end it all with this overdrive, and successfully does so. And you know what, Jadlin? That's actually something that I'm not surprised about MFCR. With the way MFCR plays this game, you should be very comfortable with the Gold Lewis matchup, so much so, we're going right back into the match.
Yeah, I love the way that MFCR did the backdash against that incoming Behemoth Typhoon, which was meant they got out of that stagger state, or the guard crush state. Yeah, these backdashes are crucial, but Lshore was able to punish at least one, but again, another backdash. MFCR is back in there. BRC isn't going to get anything, really get one guard crush, but MFCR does not care. Yep, get the Turbulence, gonna be going to back turn. That time is going to get a throw as well, and gonna continue the combo with these lows. Yeah, you gotta be careful. Throw him again, I dare you.
Mind you, MFCR had a full stick of tension butter, Jadlin, and was actually so confident in the Leo mix. Didn't even need it right there as Lshore gets the counter hit off of the round start. And Behemoth Tycoon, another one for your troubles, and another one, and we're gonna swing once more and break that wall for the next screen.
Oh, but you just round start flash kick if you're MFCR. He's not afraid, he's still alive, which is actually a terrifying place for Lshore to be. Does force Lshore to burst. He has 100% tension if he wants to use it. Uses a little bit of that gauge, but once again, MFCR using... Okay, we so rarely see that throw, but MFCR is using it to great effect. Did MFCR do a move? Parried it, but used the PRC to dash backwards. It was so smart from MFCR. He's a breath away from death, though. Going into that danger state, doesn't really care too terribly much. Does use the dash through the overhead, is going to connect Turbulence. You're gonna get the wall stick too, and you're gonna bring it all the way back. Does MFCR?
MFCR is him, Jadlin. Up 2-0 right now with Lshore. Was so confident, didn't even care about the negative penalty that was happening, and already starting off the round with the round start DP, showing off a great go burst though from Lshore to try to push MFCR off away from him. But again, MFCR having that burst potential and then going and resetting the neutral. Gonna be caught with the DP against the 2K2D instance here. But the blue RC to block right away, but Lshore still getting the attack in.
Yeah, tries to counter the incoming from Lshore with a 6P from MFCR. Does do the cross through the throw once again. These command grabs are so huge and crucial from MFCR. Was he blocking again this time? Let's see. Oh, not that time. That's going to take the round finally for Lshore. MFCR hindered but not stopped. Round 2 of this one, yeah, using that Wild Assault immediately.
And when you're Go Lewis, again, the white Wild Assault is such a good one because, again, you're going to get that half a meter of burst bar back, but you also have that invincibility and being plus on block. But again, MFCR is not afraid, already creating the little mix on the ground and going to go for the grab again. This time going to get hit by the, oh my gosh, my goodness, the overdrive right there. Down with the system. Still gets hit though with that DP counter hit.
The overhead does not connect, but the low mix into that drift RC into the Turbulence is going to get that round for MFCR. This is really good stuff. We are 1-1 in this round and using an immediate Behemoth Typhoon to go and get the start, but it doesn't matter. MFCR get one overhead. What if we have 2 overheads? Perhaps we're just going to continue this using the dash through the 3 overheads now. Dash through once again, forcing the burst out of Lshore, which means they are short resources. They did just get 50% tension though. Using more Behemoth Typhoon to close the distance. Oh my gosh, and they're caught by that wild overdrive from MFCR. You know, it's not wild if it works, and MFCR is going to be the 4th player to stay in the upper half of this bracket.
Indeed, MFCR showcasing a really strong Leo. Also notice too that fast Roman cancel at the end to get the double jumpy. I think that was like 4 jumpies right after. And it's possible because again, you use that fast Roman cancel right after your overdrive to then finish up and clean up shop for the extra damage. But you know, I gotta say, first off, that's a high octane match if you ever want to call out for Guilty Gear Strive being high octane. Back and forth. Looking at this replay, this was all MFCR, who was just relying on the command grab, on the 2K, and then into just straight up wall slump and mixed potential. You just could not be able to handle it, and Lshore could not indeed. This, I think, was the second game right here that it was just command grab after command grab, and yep, the third one, fourth one, and it was just all over. What I loved here though from Lshore is definitely tried to make some of the adjustments possible, able to try to steal back. But this round here, this was crazy. The pixel of health that MFCR had already going on that danger zone and losing some tension, but was able to successfully get the counter hit in and become him. MFCR, the Leo King right there, as Lshore just tried to make a comeback that was almost possible in certain instances, but was just caught by MFCR's quick thinking mechanics and, again, just knowledge of the game. If you're playing this game, you're gonna have at least minimum 1,000 hours at the end. But looking at this bracket, that's gonna be MFCR moving on into the winner's side to face ShinyEspeon. And we do have an update for you on the lower side. Aaron taking over JayOh's bike, and that's gonna be a 3-0 win as Aaron continues on, but sends JayOh home.
Right, so great job from JayOh, though. It was great to see their bike in, at least, you know, for the one game that we did. But thank you so much for participating. We're glad that you got to do this. But that does mean, unfortunately, we're down to now 7 players. However, we're going to have more high-level Guilty Gear action. I feel like that went by, I mean, I not just feel, it did go by incredibly quickly. And now we're going to continue to get more matchups, more face-to-face and head-to-head as these players continue to battle it out for our EVO prize package for EVO Vegas 2024. Don't go anywhere. Well, maybe like, I don't know, get some popcorn, because these matches are, you're just not going to want to leave your seat. We're going to go to a quick break and we'll be back with more Guilty Gear action right after this.
PlayStation. Gaming is defined by moments.
It is intense.
The joy of victory and the thrill of overcoming challenges. Welcome to our home of competitive gaming, where we can all experience exciting esports moments
The final 1v1 of the game here.
and celebrate the pros and the rising stars,
I do want to see a female in the MCS.
bringing you guides and deep dives
Horizon can go up, but she can't go up fast.
and tournaments where the community competes.
Wait! Did he get? No way!
Whether you're in a heated match
Back, let's go.
or watching along at the edge of your seat,
A duo taking down a trio!
let's create moments from the games you love.
He'll take it.
Join us and subscribe to our channel to follow everything esports on PlayStation.
PlayStation.
EVO 2024 is the biggest EVO ever. Publisher booths, art gallery, a bigger cosplay contest, the biggest EVO arcade ever, and the show floor is open for 3 days. More good news, your show floor ticket gets you into the all-new arena experience. This year, it's one ticket for everything, which is great because all 8 featured games will have the finals played on the main stage.
Your EVO champion, guys, give it up for...
Morning strangers say hello to me. Tomorrow their names will be carved on the stone. We're going home and I'm a terrible liar. Forgive me, that's not the art of prayer. For the sake of the day, keep crying out. Swing the soul, swing the soul, swing the freaking soul down. Dream of heaven. Thought the dream of heaven never lasts very long. The running flash and dirty sky infect my wounds. We're going home alive, alive, alive. Forgive me, just get me out of this hell. For things that the game keep crying out. Swing the soul, swing the soul, swing the freaking soul down.
Welcome back, everyone, to some more Guilty Gear Strive action here at the PlayStation Tournament Road to EVO 2024. You're just tuning in. My name is Saki, and I am here with the lovely Jadelyn.
Hey everybody, I hope you've been having a ton of fun so far because the matches are not going to stop. But before we continue with these matches, we want to talk a little bit about EVO itself because there's a little less than a month to register for EVO, so head on over to evo.gg. If you were watching during that break that we had, you heard my good friend Tasty Steve talking a little bit about some of the things that you can expect this year at EVO. Let me try that again. Look, I am hype about me some EVO. The show floor is going to be open all 3 days with more activities. The show is going to feature a chance to get your hands on some upcoming fighting games, which is always really exciting. That was a ton of fun last year. Going to be even better this year. Plus, and this is something that Steve said that I wanted to highlight once again, your 3-day ticket not only gets you into the show floor, it also gets you into the arena for every single grand Final, Street Fighter, Tekken, Grand Blue, Undernight, Mortal Kombat, King of Fighters, Guilty Gear Strive, and Third Strike. This is the first time that one ticket gets you into every single thing. It's going to be the biggest Evo we've ever had. You're not going to want to miss it. So go head on over to evo.gg to get your ticket today because registration closes on June 24th.
And of course, before we go ahead and crown the winner of tonight, we still got quite a bracket to go through. Let's just go ahead and check it out here. We got Bean and Christian Crab on the winner's side for semifinals, ShinyEspeon versus MFCR. And we also have an update for you from during the break. Lshore loses to FourFaceButtons 3-0 as FourFaceButtons moves on their journey, not over just yet. And of course, on the lower side, we have Aaron, who went up against JayOh and won 3-0. We'll be also moving on to the lower side, but before we go into any type of loser match, there's going to be all winner semis right now. It's going to be Bean versus Christian Crab, Jadelyn, Chip versus Asuka, and Christian Crab has quite a good Asuka, let me tell you.
Yeah, that Asuka is tight. I love it. But Bean, just as a reminder, Bean 3-0'd JayOh ridiculously quickly. And shout outs to JayOh, who is there in chat. We are so glad that we could have you here, JayOh. So thank you for playing. Great that we got to feature you. But going back to the match, goodness. So Chip versus Asuka. So what we saw from Bean's Chip, we saw a lot of aggression. We saw a lot of fast movement, which is what you expect from Chip because, you know, he is, like you had mentioned, Saki, a glass cannon. But what we saw from Christian Crab is a lot of, you know, going into that third test case. And we can see the poll there. Who you got? Y'all got Bean. Like, whew, you have Bean at 98%. I mean, you know, given the way that he played, I don't disagree. But, you know, Christian Crab could always prove me wrong.
This is very true. Again, this is Asuka, who's just chucking cubes one after the other. You know, one thing we definitely noticed from Christian Crab is just very on top of restocking on those cards. Very common for Asukas to actually go for an overdrive that just restocks on their cards and gets the cards that they want in their test cases. But more than anything, just remaining optimal as possible. Now, this is Chip, though. Again, even though being that class cannon has the movement that we didn't really get to see from Elfelt a little bit earlier when Aaron was playing against Christian Crab. So this could be a very different matchup that will probably lock down Christian Crab. But let's see how it goes as we're going to hop into this match and already getting the round started with the 2K2D knockdown and the corner carry to start up some pressure and put Christian Crab in this corner.
Yeah, that is actually a really huge start for Bean. But now Christian Crab is being forced to use that far projectile game. The YRC is going to stop those red cubes from coming out of the wall. 2K2D into the slash. The Alpha Blade once again forces Christian Crab to use the burst and had to get a little bit of that charge to get the mana back because they were about to become manaless. They are manaless now. They almost, yeah, there it is. Look at the damage output from Bean because Christian Crab was out of mana. Bean manipulated Christian Crab's mana bar expertly, and that's what you want to see from Bean.
Absolutely, okay, getting through. Finally having a chance to anti-air was a bit of a trade, but it is in the favor of Christian Crab, who does get the rock field as well as the explosiveness. And again, that 2D from Asuka is so potent because not only does it reach as far, but it's also super active as well. Bit of a trade here. Backstashes just in time before the throw, and Christian Crab is awake, ready to go, and goes for the grab ender at the end. Tries to go for another grab, but this time it's going to get counter hit as Bean is able to push Christian Crab to the corner and force them to use their burst.
Oh, the overhead into that RC was crucial for Bean. Yeah, using the orange Wild Assault to go ahead and break the wall, get that area shift. Oh, that was such a sneaky cross-up from Bean. Gonna be able to get the PRC as well. Another Wild Assault. The deflect shield is going to send Bean backwards for approximately 0.2 seconds, and with a perfect, Bean takes that first game. I don't know, chat, I think your prediction is pretty close to right.
Most definitely. I do want to give compliments though to Christian Crab, was able to at least get that second round and respawn back to Bean's aggressiveness with Chip, but you know, this is where we really find Chip being dangerous, that overhead. I love that Bean has been able to stub each and every cube that Christian Crab has tried to throw out. Now that was a wild assault, so this is going to be a hard knockdown, and in good position here for Bean, who is actually putting Christian Crab in some dangerous territory and completes it. The perfect
Another
also.
perfect.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, Christian Crab just hasn't been able to get anything going. Looked like they went for an errant grab in the beginning. Yeah, I like that Christian Crab was able to use a lot of the projectiles starting off so that they were able to get into that third test case pretty much immediately. 2K2D, the GOAT though for Bean, because it's been able to open up Christian Crab almost immediately. And then look at the mana bar coming out from Christian. It's absolutely bleeding. The overhead is going to come out, and then that's going to put Christian out of mana right in time for that overdrive to hit. Area shift. 45% of Christian's health is gone. JK lol, it's the whole bar.
The whole bar. Also, notice that Bean was trying to actually grab Christian Crab's burst and was waiting for the burst bait, but Christian Crab didn't fall for it. And also was in a dangerous position, was actually down 2 cards and only had 2 available cubes to work with, plus no mana. It was all Bean's game, who's already on a 2-0 lead, Jadelyn, and a very quick one at that. Very quick.
Saki, what is happening?
It's quick. It's Strive.
No, it's Bean, I think is the thing. It's Strive, but it's also Bean. Bean is able to punish that errant grab from Christian Crab. That was actually huge, though. Yeah, does have to use the burst because there's a lot coming out there. And then built up 50% tension is able to go ahead and use this overdrive once again. Bean is on a tear and punishing every single slip-up from Christian Crab. Puts him out of mana once again. Had already built up that tension. Okay, though, but Christian Crab's fighting back a little bit. What do we have, though? Counter hit. Bean. Crazy.
Yeah, was able to punish the overdrive after it did drop, but the start of the Aqua Cube was not in good favor as Bean once again stubs the cube from summoning. He's going to be able to go into the 5K 2D and then go into the overdrive to complete. Now again, Christian Crab still has that magic barrier around their HP, so it can hold some of this damage, but not for long as that mana bar is lowering each time Bean gets at least a chip damage in. There's the red RC, waited patiently just in case the burst could happen. Blocks the burst in time, was ready for it this way, and ends the third game in a perfect with a clean 3-0 sweep.
Oh, that burst bait at the very end, Bean knew it was coming, so Bean just sat and waited. I'm sure that we're going to be able to see that during the replay. But also during that replay, you're going to be able to see the way that Bean was able to manipulate Christian's, not just Christian's health bar, but the mana bar, which was crucial to letting Bean get that victory. So we're seeing here now with that burst that came out pretty much immediately. Look at all the damage, put Bean into that out of mana state where you're taking double damage and can't use that the spells, Bean put Christian into that state, excuse me. The Alpha Blade coming out here, the PRC, the way that he's able to just move through the air, it's seamless, it's seemingly flawless, and then just punishing all of the different options coming out from Christian Crab.
Absolutely, and one thing too, great knowledge check from Bean to be able to be one of the few characters to punish Asuka's 2D. Again, it does push you far, it's a very low move, and it's very active, and we just see Bean take advantage every single time of just being able to not only call out burst opportunities like we see here and fully punish them, but also to just really speed run through all of these rounds. Now, again, the second round for Christian was looking okay, but it's just, this is Chip and this is Bean. And when you mix them two together, you get a really, really speed up Bean.
Yes, you really do. And Bean, once again, just showcasing not only why he's one of the best Chips, but why he's one of the best Guilty Gear players in North America. That was an incredible showing. Now, of course, once again, Christian Crab not out of it because this is double elimination. Christian Crab will be going down to that lower part of the bracket, but we will be staying in the upper part of that bracket as we get our next match coming up, which is going to be ShinyEspeon versus MFCR. So Bridget into Leo, that's going to be, you know, this is not unseen, especially like I said with NYC Tempest being one that plays this character pretty frequently. We've seen this matchup relatively frequently in top 8s. So not unseen to our audience, but these two players in particular might be a little bit more fresh.
Yes, indeed. I can agree with you on there. And let's see what chat is actually thinking about when it comes to ShinyEspeon versus MFCR. So this is interesting. I would actually have had this the other way around.
So would I.
ShinyEspeon at 89% chat favors, whereas MFCR 11% chat is favoring. They believe in the power of Biscuit. I do too sometimes.
You know what? It is the season. Gotta get that brisket. It's always brisket season, let's be real. But I'm curious, so, with that poll split the way it is, let's, players aside, and look at the characters. What about Bridget stands out to you as that higher percentage point against the Leia? What do you think she brings in to that matchup? Because I think, there's a couple things, she's got her counter hit DP. I think that's a huge thing for her. She's able to get her command grab, big things. What are some things that you think Bridget can do against Leo that stand out to you?
So most definitely, we're going to see a lot of those that low starter with the 2K, 2D. It's going to be very important, especially trying to stop MFCR. I also see a lot of actual baits happening here from ShinyEspeon. Truth be told, if we do kind of follow chat's logic, there is that chance of being able to get the counter hit using JayOh to bait out MFCR's more riskier reads. But here's the thing about MFCR. I actually think he's the most dangerous when he just yeets and believes with the DP for Leo. So this is going to be something that I'm going to probably see MFCR start slow like we're seeing here right now, and then get accustomed to ShinyEspeon's pressure before going into that high risk, high reward that we know from MFCR.
Yeah, I did like that ShinyEspeon did put out that 2K 2D like you had called out so expertly, Saki. But now, oh boy, yeah, that is such a huge thing, using the flash kick and was unable to get the RC afterwards, so that's a big point for ShinyEspeon to be able to punish. I'm seeing where chat could, get behind ShinyEspeon as somebody who's able to expertly punish what MFCR can do, but right now, MFCR in complete control, using that back turn stance, turning back around, getting a low slash underneath the legs and being able to take that first round. ShinyEspeon, though, getting caught immediately by 2K 2D, and then there's the reversal that I had called out earlier, something that you're going to want to use, and then that blue wild assault closing in the distance. This is a lot of pressure, but can you make it translate into some maybe an area break? Yes, you can.
We're very close to that area break, but like I mentioned, MFCR is going to risk it all for the biscuit, and is going to be able to get the wild assault. Doesn't get the final hit in for the wall break, but look at just how that corner carry meant everything. But there's the command grab, like you had called out before. Again, the flash kick, trying to stop ShinyEspeon from progressing. But right now, we're going to see ShinyEspeon with a huge pickup, and it is them that gets the wall break this time around.
Nice stuff from ShinyEspeon, bringing it back to the 1-1 situation here. Big counter hit starter, but yeah, and another huge punish. MFCR has got to be a little bit more careful, or not, do what you want. But the reversal coming out from ShinyEspeon, 6P is going to counter it from MFCR. The backdash not punished. Backdash once again, and now you're sandwiched in between the yo-yo. Doesn't take the damage from it. Cross through does come out from MFCR with that overhead.
Hey, we have the grab going, and that's going to be an extension into the red RC, into overdrive, and that is enough to kill here as MFCR takes the first game. Truthfully, Jadlyn, I really like the back and forth that's going. We both called out two things that we were thinking, or not two things, but we both called out for each player the things that chat was honestly thinking about, and I think it's going to be a lot harder than chat is thinking about for ShinyEspeon, who's going to be dealing with now with the cross up on the ground, but calls out the grab this time around.
Yeah, I like that neutral jump to get out of the grab range, but 6P does force out a burst from ShinyEspeon. Using those projectiles, backdash is not going to get caught, which is great for ShinyEspeon, but this time, going to be able to see the flash kick. The turbulence does not connect, does not matter. ShinyEspeon was not able to, capitalize at all. And using that wall bounce damage, MFCR is feeling a lot of confidence after that first game that they played.
Yeah, this is where MFCR is really, really comfortable, and once more, the high-risk reward gameplay that MFCR is known for really works out for him in these situations. But this is a huge pickup for ShinyEspeon, who not only gets the corner carry, but baits out the DP. MFCR using the burst and gonna have to faultless defense on that overdrive to avoid the chip. The 6P stops the progression from ShinyEspeon, and the stagger right after it into OTG combo. And gonna get the grounded cross up as well. The throw tech though from ShinyEspeon keeps it alive and ends with their own throw.
Okay, this is a big punish opportunity for ShinyEspeon. Not if it's good. PRC gets caught. There's still a burst on the table. Unfortunately, the burst does not work. MFCR, just like that, game number 2. Goodness gracious. So the way that MFCR is playing right now, they're doing a very good job. Especially, I want to highlight their use of 6P as an anti-air option. You know, it does have that upper body invulnerability or invincibility. So it's a really good thing to be able to use. Oh boy, I don't know. ShinyEspeon has got to make some different decisions. In particular, I would like to see them use more of the air to their advantage, because these neutral jumps that they've been doing and these air dashes have been catching MFCR a little bit on the back foot.
I agree with you there. A little bit more air movement. Also, I would honestly say more knowledge, or not knowledge, but more expectancy from what MFCR is trying to throw out. There's a couple of times where ShinyEspeon has the opportunity to actually punish MFCR, but we're gonna go with the Soul pick this time. Daisuke's vision right here, and Soul being still such a strong character into season 3, I think this is actually a really solid pick here. Can deal with the damage and also setups as well against MFCR. The full burst though, calling out the DP and gonna try to go for the Bandit Bringer, but it does get bursted.
Yeah, this is a big pick from ShinyEspeon. Soul, great guy. If you know any of my opinions of Soul, I think his current version in Guilty Gear Strive is one of the strongest he's ever been. And then he's using that kneecap to take it. This could be the thing that takes ShinyEspeon a little bit further. So at round start here, big counter hits coming out immediately. But the flash kick is going to come out from MFCR. Went in for a grab. ShinyEspeon was able to DP it. This is really expert stuff coming out on the side of ShinyEspeon. You're not getting a break. Yeah, you're going to get this grab and wild throw, which still doesn't do as much damage as it used to, is going to do enough. This was quite the character switch. ShinyEspeon said, I like the way this looked.
We're hopping right back onto that rematch as well. The 2D starter off of the round start with the counter hit and then the wild assault, but it doesn't connect. And so MFCR was able to DP right off of the gap. But we also got a DP response from ShinyEspeon, who's actually going to use the fast Roman cancel to try to get the 2K2D. Again, another DP, but the 6P from MFCR, like you've been calling it tonight, has been really good to stop ShinyEspeon's progress.
Oh, the counter hit after counter hit! Oh my goodness, yeah, command grab for command grabs coming out here. I just love, you know, I'm looking and just hear buh, 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 because the number of counter hits have just been insane. Wake up flash kick, that's a way to start. You want to miss the turbulence, they were a little bit too far away there. The burst is going to work out for ShinyEspeon. A little bit of just like vying for that neutral space there, a lot of backdashing. Once again, MFCR gets caught trying to grab. Flash kick is going to work once again there, and then ShinyEspeon backdashing themselves into the corner. The RC doesn't work out though, and now the punish on the grab from MFCR and a big old command grab.
This is not looking good right here. That is going to be punished by the overdrive, which will lead into the kill, and MFCR cleaning it up with the 3-1 victory. But that Soul gameplay from ShinyEspeon definitely made it a challenging one for MFCR before that win could be achieved.
Sorry, I just punched the microphone. I got super excited. Wow, that was... Whew. I really did like that Soul gameplay coming out of ShinyEspeon. And chat, you showed me. Well, actually, no, you guys were in the ShinyEspeon camp. MFCR really just took hold of that and was able to use such good gameplay knowledge and a lot of punishment too. The flash kick, I am concerned about how that is going to go up against Bean, who will probably be able to punish it a lot better. but ShinyEspeon did seem like they were caught on the back foot a lot of the time. Weren't able to get the punishes out that they really wanted to. I don't think they got the yo-yo setups that they were really looking forward to. They did get like one really nice rock the baby in there. That was a beautiful anticipation on the throw because we did get the tech there. Good stuff. Yeah, backdashed out of that super, but the PRC, they didn't anticipate that coming out, and then they, you know, unfortunately what I like to call the ye old die RC, which is just burst when, you know, it just happens.
Yeah, and this round though, from ShinyEspeon into the Soul, a character switch really worked out into that wild throw, but it seemed like MFCR was very comfortable with the Soul matchup in the last game here, especially also, once again, catching the backdash from ShinyEspeon, and then also calling out some of these DPs for the bait. And that is going to be looking really solid as we're going to take a look at this bracket. Again, Bean versus MFCR is going to be your winners finals match. And down below, we're going to see ShinyEspeon versus Aaron and Christian Crab versus FourFaceButtons happening off stream and duking it out to see who will be staying into this bracket and try to keep their journey to get that Road to Evo 2024 package deal. I don't know, Jalen, it's definitely coming down to the wire for some of these matches in terms of just how they're playing out.
It is very tense, and you know, whoever wins here today is going to be joining an entire group of other people who have already won parts of Road to Evo. Like last week we had the Paris finals, which were an insane time. And so for Guilty Gear Strive, the Tiger Pop winning that one, going to be coming to Las Vegas. Going to be quite the match there. But from NA, not really sure who's going to make it yet, because these the 4 players who are left, well, 6 players who are left are incredibly powerful. And like I said, we're going to have some action happening in the lower bracket off stream. But when we come back, there's going to be more Guilty Gear Strive action for PlayStation tournaments, Road to Evo 2024 for Guilty Gear Strive. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Gaming is defined by moments.
It is intense.
The joy of victory and the thrill of overcoming challenges. Welcome to our home of competitive gaming, where we can all experience exciting esports moments
The final 1v1 of the game here.
and celebrate the pros and the rising stars,
I do want to see a female in the MCS.
bringing you guides and deep dives,
Horizon can go up, but she can't go up fast.
and tournaments where the community competes.
Wait! Did he get? No way!
Whether you're in a heated match
Back, let's go.
or watching along at the edge of your seat,
A duo taking down a trio.
let's create moments from the games you love.
He'll take it.
Join us and subscribe to our channel to follow everything esports on PlayStation.
EVO 2024 is the biggest EVO ever. Publisher booths, art gallery, a bigger cosplay contest, the biggest EVO arcade ever, and the show floor is open for 3 days. More good news, your show floor ticket gets you into the all-new arena experience. This year, it's one ticket for everything, which is great because all 8 featured games will have the finals played on the main stage.
Your EVO champion, guys. Give it up for...
Welcome back, everyone, to some Guilty Gear Strive action here at the PlayStation Tournament's Road to Evo 2024. My name is Saki, and we're here joined by Jadelyn in tonight's full broadcast.
Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. I hope you've been having as much fun as we have been having here. And before we get into our winners finals, which is going to be coming up pretty shortly, which is going to be between Bean and MFCR, let's talk a little bit about Evo. Evo is what we're fighting for here today. They're fighting for that Evo prize package. And if you want to go join whoever wins today at Evo 2024 in Las Vegas, go head on over to evo.gg. I said it before, as Steve was saying in that little commercial right before this. If you want to compete in the biggest Evo ever, if you just want to go to the biggest Evo ever, make sure you register by June 24th. That's the last time that you will be able to register at evo.gg to go and to Las Vegas and have the biggest Evo ever. You saw what they have there. There's a show floor, which is going to have all of those chances to get in the extra, all those fighting games that are coming out soon, which is going to be super cool. The biggest arcade to date, which is going to be spectacular. And of course, your ticket, one ticket gets you into everything this year. So that includes the show floor and gets you into the arena finals for all 8 games. But before we keep going, let's take a look at the bracket as it stands.
Indeed, indeed. So again, with your winners finals, it's going to be Bean versus MFCR. Down below, we also have some updates for you that happened during the commercial break. Christian Crab taking it over FourFaceButtons 3-2. That Osaka main matchup was just as exciting as it appears with that score. Definitely final game, final round, I imagine, as Christian Crab is now in your loser semis, and we're still having off-stream ShinyEspeon versus Aaron, and we'll get you that update in just a moment. But first, let's go back to that winners finals. Here again, we got Bean versus MFCR. Jalen, before the break, you were talking about how those flash kicks could be the death of MFCR when it comes to Bean.
Oh yeah, that is definitely something I want us to be watching for. I want chat to be watching for. How many times is MFCR going to throw out that flash kick without something able to, back it up? Is, Bean going to be able to bait it? Probably. And if Bean does get those flash kicks out, how much damage is Bean going to be able to do? And what do you all think as we bring up these poll results from you? Oh, that is a split. Oh, I thought that was actually going to be flipped. I thought you all were going to go for Bean, but that is the closest that we've had here today. And I'm curious, MFCR is, playing that hard-hitting Leo Whitefang, but what else do you think MFCR is bringing into the table that you have, the chat has taking it over Bean?
You know what? I have a feeling it's just because of player history. I feel like both Bean and MFCR have met in these tournaments, and definitely different tournaments as well, where it's gonna, I definitely will call that it's gonna be a game 5 situation between these two. However, I think it's just gonna come down to how have you trained against a player like Bean, and how have you trained against a player like MFCR? So already you can see both of them doing dash boxes and slight 2Ks to try to catch each other off, and it is going to be Bean who's going to throw out the first burst and actually try to start some pressure right now in this corner, as MFCR is going to try to fight back.
Yeah, ooh, does get hit by the overdrive there. That's great for Bean. Yeah, so MFCR now a little bit of trouble. Yeah, I love that incoming cross-up that Bean is able to do. Does it one more time and then backdash. No Alpha Blade yet, and then beats the DP. That's what the flash kick, that's what I'm looking for. Is going to be able to kill off of that too, so that's already one game. How many more times is this going to happen, Saki?
Definitely quite a bit. Also notice too that MFCR did not keep that DP safe. Did not even use that tension bar that was available, but we call out the DP from Bean, and that's huge, but does not get the hit confirmed, so backs off just a little bit, only to get grabbed and thrown to the corner. The clone goes out, backdashes away, but I love that that purple RC helps MFCR close the distance and stop Bean from escaping, punishing the backdash attempt.
Was really good outplay from MFCR. I loved seeing that. But now, yeah, I like how they both had a counter hit on incoming. They both went in for the same low. But then a throw coming out from Bean. Yeah, throwing out another clone. And then, yeah, what a punish with that overdrive. Going to be able to get the area shift as well here. Goes over, and the same incoming, but we did get the burst this time from MFCR. The 6P didn't connect, but a throw coming out from Bean. The drift RC is going to work out there. The diagonal Alpha Blade works. What does MFCR have in the tank here, though?
A lot of pressure here. Was gonna try to open up there, but doesn't succeed. Most than likely was gonna try to be a flash kick, but one thing about Season 3's for many of the characters that have DPs, or two styles of DPs, is that it's always going to be that slash DP that is going to have the invincibility things. They took away the heavy slash one, so it is a little bit more riskier, even though you can combo off of it more. But already Bean's health is completely demolished as MFCR gets the good round start that he was trying to go for from the first game, and calls out the DP again, punishing it.
Yeah, that was a really good call out on the side of MFCR. Now, Okay, backdash immediately. I like that idea, but the sweep is going to come out from Bean. Does force the burst out of MFCR. The flash kick is once again punished. This is the thing that I'm glad that we called it out, because now you're seeing it. You're seeing how devastating it is against somebody like Bean. It's a great tool for Leo, but when it keeps being punished like this, you've got to reevaluate how you're using it. So that time it was used to great effect. However, Bean was ready for it, is able to extend the combo with the RC. The wall break is going to come in with that area shift. He doesn't go for that overhead side switch, and I liked that a lot from Bean. However, he does get hit with a bunch of damage from MFCR.
And you're gonna have to use that burst. We're also gonna go into the red RC and instantly into the overdrive. Both players having that full stick of tension butter, but it is Bean who's gonna be able to capitalize it off before MFCR can go for any type of burst. It does carry over at the very least, and it works as well. We get the orange wild assault, another wild assault to get the hard knockdown and really lock out Bean from gaining any meter on the burst side of things. And this is going to be hopefully a comeback. We got the purple RC, but Bean was ready this time, only getting slightly hit with the throw tech in the mix as well.
Yeah, the backdash there was trying to get out of the 2D range from MFCR, but unfortunately there's really nowhere that you can go because, you know, Bean is far away. PRC is going to connect, switch that corner for it. Well, it was in favor of Bean. Yes, still in the favor of Bean. Backdash does get caught, and then once again, the orange wild assault doing a lot of damage here. This should close out the round. Yeah, it does close out the round here. Closes out the game here and putting one on the board for MFCR. Now, something that was really important there was the way that MFCR was finally able to punish some of the backdashes on Bean. But also, as you pointed out, Saki, MFCR wasn't afraid to use that burst bar for back-to-back wild assaults, which netted a lot of damage and got the area shift as well. So I think those were really interesting things. So in case you weren't aware, this was a change from Season 3. You are now able to use half of your burst bar for one of two mechanics. One is offensive, and that's your wild assault, and one is defensive, and that's for deflect shield. So that's why we're calling those out, because burst bar used to just be for burst until Season 3 when this was introduced. And it was a mechanic that really shook up the way that people played, because there are different kinds of wild assault. That's why we're highlighting them here. We actually have a lot of characters here today who have blue wild assault. The vast majority of the cast has orange wild assault, which is very offensive, has some, you know, more damage with it. Our only white wild assault character here today, which is usually associated with the big bodies, is with Gold Lewis, but blue wild assault does have some different properties, which Saki highlighted earlier today. But now we are back into it. It is 1-1.
Yeah, but already a pressured start here from Bean. And a slight hit, though, it is on the favor of, there goes that orange wild assault from Bean. Now gets caught in the DP slash from MFCR. And that's a big chunk of damage here. That's going to go straight into that overdrive. Because it corner carries, that's going to be a hard knockdown to go with the area shift as well. Dash up grab into the red RC, and that is cleaning up shop as MFCR takes the first round.
It was a very clean game from MFCR, and I like the 2D start with a cross through, but just a couple of 5Ps coming out of Bean. You know, 5P is a great tool, but then, oh my goodness, there was so much exchange. They went in for a DP on one side and then was able to burst. The RC drift is going to be able to work. Double Alpha Blade into a wall break, just goes ahead and hits him with the elbow so that you can get this new area where everybody returns to neutral. The 2D was able to be covered by the PRC. The turbulence is coming out now. The overhead doesn't work. Backdash is not caught. 2K2D on the side of Bean.
I love that stagger there from the Rekka, and then also the fast Roman cancel due to the jump E as well. That's going to be a dash up grab, and then again the fast Roman cancel to really continue the bounce and momentum from that. It responds accordingly, Bean does. And we're on to the final round of this next game, the third game, so to speak, as well. The burst is used here from MFCR. Gets caught by the jump slash as well, but also responds with the jump kick slash. And again, we're seeing MFCR going for that DP slash because of the fact that it has that invincibility. Heavy slash not having that does make things a little bit easier for MFCR to handle, but we'll see what the positive tension that Bean has. Should be able to actually complete it here, and also locks out MFCR from the burst.
It was great stuff coming out of Bean. Oh my goodness, the adjustments, the way that these players are making them so quickly and it's great. I love seeing it. Yeah, we both go for the lower clash once again. And the burst coming out from Bean pretty much immediately. A big counter hit on the side of MFCR once again, anticipating the throw, so we get that tech. That time Bean goes in for a second throw, and it does work, and he gets the corner advantage here. The overhead coming out, another throw. No command grab yet, but the throws are doing a lot of damage to MFCR.
Most definitely. And then we have that overhead that really throws MFCR out. And we're going to get the area shift back to neutral. We go from Bean, who's going to be able to get the 2S. Purple RC to keep it safe. And we have 2D, my beloved. It is a forward advancing 2D as well. So that's going to be enough to kill Bean, who again, on the chip, you're a glass cannon. That's going to be a lot of damage you're going to receive on the intake.
Ooh, just, figuring out the neutral spacing was really, really crucial in that moment. The reversal does get punished once again, but that time MFCR has to use the burst to keep themselves safe. They could have taken a lot of damage from Bean. Backdash and then that advancing 2D, like you had called out, Saki, was trying to do some work, but it doesn't really matter because Bean is pressuring in the corner backdash once again. This time the flash kick does work, but wasn't able to continue. That forward 2D is now going to be punished with that dash RC, and the area shift is going to put us back into neutral, but no hard knockdown because of the choice of moveset coming into it. YRC though now.
MFCR going for the backdash, tries to get a slash in. Definitely playing good defense against these Rekkas. Jumps purple RC though, but thankfully MFCR does not press the button. Called out that Bean had the tension, but this is a counter hit. Does whiff off of the tap dust. And we're going to try to see a 5P interaction as Bean takes those buttons and cleans it up. We're going into a potential set point here for Bean. And FCR needs to win this next round to stay alive into Game 5.
Yeah, and one thing that happened there in that previous round is that MFCR's wrist gauge was absolutely cranked. So he was taking a huge chunk of damage. But MFCR does not want this to be over yet. The crossover does work out for Bean. Going to be able to get the overdrive now as we get the area shift afterwards. Good old Donmazeki is like, hello, and then goes back into their little hidey hole. There's the cross-up that we've been seeing on entry on the area shift from Bean. Big damage, another overdrive. We're going to go back, and he's going to get more positive tension as we go into the other side. MFCR still has burst available if they want to use it. The dash PRC into the Alpha Blade. Alpha Blade Bean is a genius.
That is the common chip pay to win. I'm just kidding. It is, though, quite a maneuver from Chip to actually go for towards the end of those matches. It's like a way to keep you guessing, especially considering that Bean was not using Alpha Blade as often throughout those entire match, waited until the last second, last round to implement that mind game where all MFCR could do was just get hit by it. And with that, Bean takes it. Chat, you were kind of close on the call there, but it was Bean and the supporters of Bean who takes it. And taking a look at this replay, Jalen, my God, was it high octane.
There was so much going on, but I mean, again, some things that were really, really crucial were things that we had called out. That flash kick being punished by Bean, something we said before the match had even started, was a big sticking point in Bean's game plan. Gotta say, these Alpha Blades were totally on point. The backdashing, just the general neutral movement coming out of Bean was really good. But when those backdashes did get punished by MFCR, it did net him a ton of damage. We had a lot of area shifts coming back and forth. The way Bean was changing the way that they played into that area shift match, because a lot of times he would do the jump over and then get the cross up, and he stopped doing it. And so then MFCR was expecting one thing, and at the very, very last area shift, did that cross up, and that was what ended up taking it. Was able to get so much tension that they could use overdrive after overdrive after overdrive. Barely was using any FDs, that faultless defense, which does take part of your tension bar, and was able to take it. It was a very close set, but that does mean that MFCR will be waiting in the lower finals, whereas Bean will be sitting pretty waiting in grand finals for whoever takes it. But we don't have time to continue. ShinyEspeon, who did manage to make it through, will be fighting Christian Crab, choosing to stay on the Soul rather than the Bridget. And why is that? Why do you think that would be?
Well, most definitely. That probably means that we're going to rely on both movement of soul, that bandit bringer. I also have a feeling Vortex also goes under some of the cubes. So I'm having a good feeling that that's going to probably be one of those ways to actually get through and actually take out Asuka, Christian Krab's Asuka as well. But as we're waiting for this next match, chat, I kind of want to know, what are your thoughts on some of these this matchup here that we're gonna see pretty soon? And we say Christian Krab's Asuka is supposed to be the one that wins against ShinyEspeon. 14% is who people say ShinyEspeon is gonna win, and Christian Krab 86%. Jadelyn,
I feel like that if I was voting in the poll with Chad, that's kind of where I would fall to. Christian. So ShinyEspeon is going to be playing Bridget. Thank you, production, for letting us know. That is interesting. I actually like the Soul into the Asuka matchup better. In particular, I like it better than the Bridget because Soul has such a much higher damage output, he can take down another character in much fewer touches. And Bridget is going to have to work harder. Now, Bridget does have the advantage of all of the movement and things like that. There's so much more air manipulation and movement outplay, especially when you have the yo-yo with the damage and the setups and the sandwich situation you can do. But honestly, Asuka's whole thing is anything you can do, I can do better, especially when it comes up to sandwich situations and setups. So let's see what these two can do, and whether or not chat with that 86% in Christian's favor is going to be correct.
Indeed. And I think what's really, really important here for ShinyEspeon is how to handle those cubes and get through them. We do start off with the explosion, but there goes the green cubes as well, bringing out the 3 and the charge cube. Plus, we also have the wand set up. It's crazy how quickly Christian Krab is able to just summon every single one of these spells so smoothly and then restock just as smooth. We're gonna get the teleport in. The lightning does not reach, and it's ShinyEspeon who tries to get it hidden, but the 2P from Christian Krab and the red Roman RC cancel is gonna be able to complete it. Start of pressure right now.
A lot going on in the favor of Christian Krab. Was just able to completely shut down everything that ShinyEspeon was doing. We do get a color change on the side of ShinyEspeon, which I kind of like. Kickstart my heart, going to be able to close the distance pretty quickly, and yeah, the burst does come out from Christian Krab. He's still in one of the first test cases, does go into test case number 3. That's the one that he really wants to be in. Ooh, he does have some ability to teleport. He's got 2 teleports on the table there. That could be really huge. There's 1, there's 2. Does get the big red cubes to come out as well. Went in for a throw, and the throw is now punished from ShinyEspeon.
This is actually a really good pickup here for ShinyEspeon, who gets the jump slash in, and then also gets the yo-yo, blocks the YRC, and that's going to be a huge punish for ShinyEspeon, who is going to get the close slash extension after the red Roman cancel.
It was really good outplay on the side of ShinyEspeon, but God, 2D is so good. Yeah, Christian Krab is trying to get out of there, does manage to get into test case 3. I know I'm pointing that out every time, but it's really important because that's a test case that he wants to be in, and any delay that ShinyEspeon can do to keep him out of test case 3 is an advantage in their side. That slow-musing cube does get out of there. We are going to be able to get a big counter hit with that overdrive. It's the overdrive that does more damage and doesn't let you pull from the different cards for your spells, and just like that, Christian Krab takes the round. Holy macaroni and cheese, this is fast.
I mean, it's Asuka. He has the heart of the cards. He believes in them. But truthfully, once again, it's all about summoning. Like you mentioned, going into that test case number 3 so quickly too, by the way. Look how just smooth going into it, and then just continuing the offensive pressure, already getting the wall break, and then of course able to restock on that third and first card. And that's going to be a forced burst here from Christian Krab. We're going to go into that overdrive for the bigger cube. Doesn't catch the backdash from ShinyEspeon, but it does create enough space where we're going to get the 2D into the combo. But ShinyEspeon does the last minute hero boost. But unfortunately, it is going down as Christian Krab takes that first round.
something that was really huge during that round is that Christian had a card that gained him mana continuously, so he never had to worry about balancing his mana, whereas in this particular round is losing a lot of that mana. Is already down to half because, like I said, you lose mana by casting spells, by switching spells, by taking damage, and he has not been able to leave that first test case, which does have the projectiles, but it's not where he wants to be. If he's not careful, it's gonna become out of mana, take a lot of damage from ShinyEspeon, but does manage to, oh yeah, gained a little bit of mana. That's what that yellow charge was. Doesn't matter though, you're stuck back in the corner again. What a throw!
With the OTG, you're gonna be in a good spot. Now, we have the YRC from ShinyEspeon in response. We got the blue Wild Assault that leaves you with a staggered button. So you're gonna take up any damage unless you can actually fill out that button bar. Not enough time to do so. Gonna beat that full ender, and now we're tied up on the rounds. Let's see if ShinyEspeon can clean this up, but it doesn't look like it is. Christian Crab already breaking the wall, just simply from all of the cube placements. We're on that test case number 3, plus the wand is out. You're in a gravitational vortex. You gotta hold all of these cubes.
This is huge for Christian Crab. It does run out a little bit of mana. Has to be very careful. But yeah, like you called out, Zaki, that one particular... Oh, the burst. Ew. That one particular one, so the different stabs do different things. Some of them will speed up your projectiles, causing them to go further across the screen. Some of them will slow them down. That one will pull the cubes to you and just make it so you have this vortex of things that you have to fight in and around. But we don't have any time to consider that, because Christian Crab is up 2 against ShinyEspeon, and once again is just causing havoc. Has a teleport on deck too, and a gravitational drop. There was the gravitation drop with from the above, 2 teleports on there, and then the burst is the worst, as my good friend St. Cola would say.
Yep, that burst was blocked just in time, and already the health of ShinyEspeon gets depleted, as we're gonna see the ender of the overdrive cube. Gonna be on potential match point here for Christian Crab, who has been doing an amazing job. But I love that 6P was able to stop that volcanic explosion, but still getting hit by the charge cube, plus the follow-ups as well. Some of those 6Ps, it is an attempt to stuff the cubes, but it's gonna be not enough. Let's jump to try to get the burst rate, but we have the grab, fast Roman cancel, and we're gonna clean up shop as Christian Crab sends ShinyEspeon home from the loser side. Winning with this amazing Asuka. Jadelyn, I love seeing Asuka. Hate playing against him, but I love seeing Asuka.
Yeah, I do too. I love Asuka. As a matter of fact, I mean, this is something that I used to talk about a lot. If you go on to the PlayStation Esports YouTube channel, I wrote the guide for it. I wrote and voiced the guide for this character. It's out there, so I really love getting to see him played because, yes, he is incredibly complex, but he's also very, very fun. And once you are able to master the different test cases, able to manipulate your buttons, because you're actually pressing, you know, kick slash and heavy slash repeatedly, switching in and out of your test cases, choosing your spells, making sure that you have everything on the table, and at a glance, knowing what you've got there, you are king of Guilty Gear Strive. And you can see that here as time and time again, especially using the 2D. 2D is Asuka's only free projectile, so every other projectile that he's got, you know, comes from the different spells. So this is something that you definitely want to be looking out for. And the way they're able to use the wall bounce damage too, that throw, which is gorgeous. Really well done from Christian Crab, but let's take a look at our bracket to see as it stands, because we are now down to our top 3 in Bean, waiting in the grand finals, and MFCR versus Christian Crab. Now this one I'm super excited about because they have not fought each other yet.
They have not. I was actually taking a look at the bracket just to double check on if there was a bit of a rematch, but it's actually Christian Crab who wants to try to get that rematch against Bean in the grand final side. Now, I'm gonna be honest here, Jadelyn. This might be where MFCR is gonna have a lot of trouble trying to get in. We've seen Christian Crab's Asuka multiple times tonight on stream. We know the capabilities of Asuka. We, like, every time we have tried to say, you know, this could be a way that Christian Crab could actually try to go down, you know, this is where their opponent can actually maneuver in certain aspects and actually try to get in, has failed because once again, Christian Crab is just ready to go. And so chat, I want to see what you say here about this matchup. Are we going to see here? Ooh, another close one, Jadelyn.
It's close, but you know what? I'll put it out there. I'm siding with chat. I think Christian Crab is on an incredible hot streak right now. I think the way that Christian has been playing has been incredibly confident. It's been not just confident, but has been assured. And there's a difference between being confident and there's a difference between being assured. Confidence, sometimes you get some wild stuff. Assurity means you know exactly what you're doing every single second. And the way that Christian Crab has been playing has shown that he is assured every time that he gets into that third test case exactly what he's going to be doing, knows how he wants to throw out his spells. It's been going fantastically in their favor. And the advantage that Asuka has over Leo is that there is more ranged options. Yes, Leo has a projectile. Yes, he can also close the distance incredibly quickly. That 2D that you've been pointing out, Saki, huge, huge for Leo. But Christian Crab has all the tools to completely shut Leo out of this fight. And yeah, like you said, he wants to get back to that grand finals to face Bean again, where Bean systematically dismantled everything that Christian Crab had out there. But MFCR wants that rematch too.
Indeed, both have been eliminated by Bean. And of course, I mean, Bean sitting in grand finals as he should. You know, that's where he's going to be sitting pretty for a little bit while Christian Crab and MFCR are going to duke it out. And I must say here, with Christian Crab, I agree with you completely. It's all about getting to that third test case. More than anything, though, Jadelyn, when Christian Crab sees an actual spell to help with the mana usage, going out and using it, we have to compliment the fact that Christian has been able to really show off that what makes Asuka so complicated is actually one of Asuka's best features and why he's such a strong character. The ability to reload those cards as you are throwing out those cubes, as you're throwing out those options. It is a tough time to stop Asuka until you run out of mana. And from the few times we've seen Christian Crab, it has only been when they went down to Bean that they got really punished for it.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see what comes out. Now, he does usually throw out a spell pretty early, using those projectiles, and then does get into the third test case almost immediately, has a projectile, has a teleport, and because of the teleport, was able to punish the burst on the side of MFCR, which is a huge start for Christian Crab.
That lightning spell as well is also going to guard break. Now, that flash kick slash is what's going to reach a little bit and actually hurt Christian. Now, that is damage going through, but we are going to be able to block the overhead. We're going to charge up the mana as well to make sure that we have enough. That's a wand that was set up, and we're getting the cards that we need for this interaction. Oh, the overdrive hits as the multiple cubes come out. Little to usage of mana, but go burst right here. Backing away slowly. Doesn't have a lot of mana to work with, but does get the 2D. Gets hit again by the overdrive though, and that's gonna wall break. Still, that magic barrier is still around Christian Crab's health, so not a lot of damage, but we are gonna use that deflect shield to push back.
That was really huge. The PRC is going to be able to punish the whiff grab out of Christian Crab. Something that was really important to note there is that Christian was almost out of spells. He only had 8 left. That's what the number is indicating on the side there. So you have 30 spells in a test case, and so he was only down to 8. He would have had to reload the test case pretty shortly, and that mana allowed him to live. But now into this match here, just gets into the third test case right now. MFCR using this wall bounce damage to be able to get a ton of damage onto Christian Crab. Going to switch the areas now, and Christian has got to do something about the mana here. Yeah, using that was the smart use of that overdrive because he had the projectile instead of changing the different spells. Now, what can you do? This is real scary. Ooh, a throw is going to be able to work out real well and can charge that little bit of mana. Baits away from this super too.
Good defense up until the overhead came in from MFCR. The 6 speed to try to stop any far slashes with the hitbox, and it is MFCR who takes the first game. Jadelyn, there was a moment right before the area shift that I was just hearing MFCR say, 2D, my beloved. It was a great way to start off the combo and actually put Christian Crab in that position. And we're gonna see if we can get those spells out and actually land a hit, and especially with that 2D, the teleport plus the lightning, And that's going to be the blue wild assault, again staggered, and we're going to go for the grab to actually set up. Oh my gosh, look at the reload, but it's the flash kick on reversal that's going to be able to avoid that overdrive off of that reversal.
Big thing to note here is that Christian is constantly gaining mana. Had the card that you get that mana gain, but I don't know if it's gonna matter. We have the slow cube sandwich situation with the teleport. We do have a wand out as well, which is going to be the one that has the gravitational pull. So MFCR is stuck in this corner now. The RC is going to work. We had a little bit of mana gain. The flash kick into the RC on the side of MFCR, though. We have the overhead coming out to the 2K, and then another overhead. He wants him to be out of mana so badly, and he's probably going to get it here if we do get a wall break. If he lives, because we have the overdrive into the area shift damage, he's not gonna live. MFCR is out here with a vengeance. He is ready to stop Christian Crab right now.
Indeed, indeed. And multiple times we saw almost opportunity for Christian to actually close out some of these games, but again, it is a gap in between some of those cube summons, and right there we just saw it again. The flash kick slash not only allows that invincibility, but it also makes sure that we can punish those gaps. But we're going to see Christian going to get hit by the 2D. That was going to be a counter hit, but the burst saves Christian from damage. The tap does, but backs away from the 2 heavy slash. And there it goes from MFCR, who's going to get the overhead into the full 2K overhead again and cleans up shop.
Once again, the crucial thing that was there was that Christian Crab went into... he was out of mana. And so that meant that the really already potent Leo combo was infinitely more damaging. Like, you saw that overhead, it took out the last quarter of Christian's life. So just like that, MFCR is 2 up. We are not going to take a break. No breaks, no breathers, getting right back into it. And notably, not letting Christian get into the 3rd test case until right there, and tries to punish it with a projectile as well from MFCR.
You can definitely see that the mana is going down, but still trying to gain a bit. Now the mana is fully gone as the health barrier is completely gone. Burst from MFCR, tries to 6P, but not going to be able to reach.
No, that was really big. They exchange there and both get counter hits. There's a full bar almost of mana for Christian Crab, but yeah, getting the wall slap combo, that's what, you know, MFCR is just waiting because he really likes this advantageous wall position. And then you're going to be able to capitalize on that because you are in that corner still and you get the overdrive with that wall break damage to close that round out. But then Christian buddy, what are you trying to do? Like, I know you're trying to use the cards you have, but MFCR seems to have a lot more answers. Went in for a whiff throw, doesn't matter though.
Oh, we grabbed the flash kick. Really good knowledge here from Christian, but the 2D stops the reload. And we have another 2D that's going to be able to combo in, but it's a throw wake up from the Christian Crab, who's going to be able to summon the multiple cubes and teleports on the other side for a guaranteed cube assault.
All right, 1-1. MFCR still 1 away from going to our grand finals, but Christian is trying to make sure that that doesn't happen. I really like the way, and I want to point this out, that MFCR is using projectiles of their own to counter the projectiles from Christian Crab. That's one of the reasons why he's getting in so well. And because it's a multi-hit projectile on the side of MFCR, it's actually stopping some of what Christian Crab is doing. Now we get the flash kick into that really fast RC, punishes the throw, forces Christian to use their burst very, very closely. Oh, that was really scary because the wand that was out that keeps that gravitational pull in, multi-hit projectile once again. This is how MFCR is winning, is with that multi-hit projectile against Christian Crab.
Yeah, and also these flash kicks have been on point, but it does get grabbed again as the ender. They have a close slash counter hit, and Christian Crab finally on the board this time against MFCR. 2-1 right now, as we're going to see Christian Crab win this last game.
So, I can't really understate how, or even overstate, direction, I can't state how important it is that MFCR is using that projectile. So the way projectiles work, except for Happy Chaos, who has an instant projectile, which works differently, is projectiles can hit each other, and at a certain point, they will cancel each other out. Leo's projectile is multi-hit, meaning that it's going through a lot of what Christian has and actually punishing it. Christian, though, in this case, is doing a really great job punishing, yeah. MFCR, though, because of the little gap in the startup on the overdrive, is able to punish Christian briefly. but Christian does manage to take that round.
Yeah, the 5P at the end, it's the best thing to do. Go for your fastest button in a situation that you don't want to let your Leo opponent actually build up the mix pressure. All of these cubes are going out, the assault, and then again, that quick teleport into the tap dust is great because it's catching you off guard. It's basically a cross-up and then the counter hit from the far slash. But the green cube goes in and we have the multiple hits again. Christian Crab very close into getting to game 5. This overdrive should do it. No, so much guts.
Scaling.
Still alive.
Yeah, that was actually a lot of scaling, but that teleport into the PRC was exquisite. And you're stuck between an Asuka and a projectile place. Now it is 2-2. Final game. Could potentially go down to a final round, but gotta say, Christian has done a really great job adjusting, in particular, setting up these sandwiches when they do get the teleport, causing MFCR to really have to guess for game.
Most definitely. I loved in that last sequence, just real quick, is how interesting these teleports have been for Christian Crab. Again, being able to utilize these opportunities for those teleports is really important. But MFCR finally gets the hits in, does go for the overhead, gets blocked for it, backs away, still gets knocked down by the 2D. Very active 2D from Asuka. And then we're gonna get the continuation from the multiple cube carry. And then the wand is back, but we have a grab for the ender. And Christian Crab very close to trying to take away from this game 5.
Christian is going to punish this whiffed flash kick out of MFCR, doing a ton of damage immediately, using that overhead, and now has the overhead once again, and the cross-up gets a teleport too. This is going to be the thing that we're looking for. Punishes the burst, uses the PRC, now another punish onto the flash kick, except the grab is now going to whiff turbulence into the back turn, is going to cause Christian to burst, uses the grab and still has the teleport on deck. There's the teleport into the cross-up. Is he going to be able to do it? Oh no, the 2D into the RC is going to keep it going for MFCR. Oh god, is it going to be final game, final round? I don't know. But now we get the overhead YRC reset, and 2D is going to take it in a very intense final game. But Christian Crab is going to get their chance to face Bean in the grand finals.
What a scramble towards the end. It was about 3 times that Christian Crab had the opportunity to clean the game, but still, despite those small errors, was able to finish out against MFCR, sending MFCR home with the 3rd place. Still a very good job there from MFCR. I gotta say, Jalen, you know, looking back at all of what was happening in this match, Christian Crab was doing an excellent job on some of the grabs. You know, I do want to compliment here from MFCR. Started off these first games really strong on the reversal side of things. The 2Ds getting the counter hits needed. Great blocks and defense, especially from the assault on the cubes. And then continuing on for the mix-up that just was like definitely confusing Christian multiple times. And again, the cleanups here. But we have Christian Crab, who was able to actually also notice what MFCR was trying to do, focusing a lot on grabbing more and then establishing the mind game off of the hard knockdown. And then quickly going into overdrive. Now, this did not kill at the time, but the setups that followed right after was perfect, as we saw the lightning and then this teleport. Using the purple RC to try to keep him safe just in case that overdrive was coming into play. And that tap dust, even though getting hit by the counter 2D and not able to clean up from the tap dust, was still enough for Christian Crab to be like, hey, let me reset, get that YRC out, and then 2D to stop you from advancing.
Really, really good stuff from Christian Crab. I love the way that you highlighted the entire story of that particular set. But yes, MFCR is going to be our 3rd place person in this bracket tonight. Now, as a reminder, Christian Crab was put into the lower bracket by Bean 3-0. It was a very quick, very systematic dismantling is what I like to call it, of Christian Crab. Bean was able to weave in and out of all of the different projectiles and spells that Asuka was putting out. So now on this hot streak that Christian Crab has been on, you know, taking out both ShinyEspeon and MFCR, does Christian Crab get the chance make the chance? I don't even want to say get, because they're the one who forging their own fate here in Guilty Gear Strive. Do they make it so that they reset the bracket and send Bean to losers? Bean, who I don't think Bean has lost a single game.
Nope, has been playing super strong. And before we explain to you how a double elim grand finals work, chat, let's look at what you're saying. So we think that Bean has 77% of you are favoring Bean against Christian Crab, whereas 23% of you believe that Christian Crab will take the win. Now, we've been talking about it all night. Christian Crab has had this momentum. Definitely, honestly, I think the biggest challenge right there was MFCR. Took down MFCR pretty decently. You know, MFCR being ahead, however, making the comeback needed was phenomenal right there for Christian Crab. Question here is, can this happen for Bean? And now, mind you, in a double elimination, folks, grand finals, Bean and Christian Crab have entered with 2 lives. Everybody in this bracket has entered with 2 lives, right? Now, when you get knocked down to the losers, you lose 1 life. Correct? So with that in mind, Bean has not lost any of their lives, whereas Christian Crab has. If Bean does lose to Christian Crab in the first of 3, that means that Christian Crab has initiated the bracket reset, and now Christian has to win another 3 games to completely take the tournament. However, for Bean, all they have to do is just win 3 games and secure their Evo package, and that's it.
Right. So thank you for explaining that, because, you know, sometimes we don't know where you all are coming from, and this might be the first time that you've seen Guilty Gear Strive. And if it is the first time you've seen Guilty Gear Strive, we hope that you are enjoying it, and we hope that you have really gotten to, you know, get a good taste of what this game has. The game as is now entering its 4th season. Very, very excited about that. Just a really, really fantastic game. So thank you all. Thank you, chat, for joining us here today. Thank you for participating. Thank you for just being an awesome chat in general. But we are now in our grand finals here between Bean and Christian Crab on PlayStation Tournament's Road to EVO 2024, fighting for that EVO Las Vegas prize package.
Great 6P here from Christian Crab, already getting the cubes out. Test case number 3 on deck as well. And we're also getting all of these spells out. The 2P into the red RC, that's been a staple from Christian Crab over and over tonight. And again, it's all about that hard knockdown setup, taking down Bean, Jadlin, in this first round.
Yeah, I'm curious what Bean was trying to do there. We do get a 2K2D that's immediately going to get a burst, but there were some interesting movements that I want to watch out of Bean. In particular, he was putting out some 6Ps, but I think he was trying to get the head invulnerability on and was getting caught by it. But Christian Crab is ready to go, using that powerful overdrive, using that projectile to go ahead and get the hard knockdown, and then just the setup. The YRC, though, is going to catch Christian Crab. Is this Bean's chance? Bean doesn't have a lot of life, but I don't think Bean cares particularly much.
Most definitely the purple RC, the throw tech in the air, but it is the trade-off from the jump that allows Christian Crab to take the first game. Completely different story when we last saw Christian Crab against Bean. Bean was the one who was actually taking full control of the match, and yet Christian Crab was this time around able to block the burst again this time around and gets the full jump carry combo to also reload before the wall shatter and the area shift.
This is a really big change for Christian Crab. The backdash into the RC is going to catch Bean as well. Bean is going to have to work a lot harder than I think Bean thought was going to have to work a lot harder. YRC once again, 2K2D after an overhead is going to work out for Bean. That was a really nice side switch, and that just throw him. Okay. And then just gonna RC afterwards. Christian Crab is a whole different beast. Really acting as that man right now.
Indeed, indeed, trying to make the story fulfill its true ending. But Bean finally starting off on the round in the second round tremendously, getting the cross up as well, another cross up, and forcing Christian to use their burst. Gets caught by the 5K and then gets hit by the counter hit. And that's going to be a full overdrive that's going to solidify. Should be enough to also close out on the mana. So Christian Crab no longer has the magic barrier around their health bar.
Yeah, and really notably, they are still in test case 1. YRC for YRC, Alpha Blade is going to cross up, and then the overhead, because, again, like you pointed out, Saki was out of mana. Perfect. does come out from Bean. We're starting to see the adjustments. The big thing there notably was that Christian Crab never got into test phase 3. He does here, but a big counter hit overhead. Double Alpha Blade, still stuck in the corner, does get the wall splat into the area shift. And Christian is just about out of mana, so you want to watch to see when he runs out. Because he can't cast spells right now. There's the out of mana. This is going to be huge for Bean.
Indeed, now it does not necessarily kill, but that's a hard knockdown and so low on health. But we have the YRC, the 2D, you're not going to be able to charge up and use your health except for a regular charge up. The grab restock, another grab again. And
Do it a first time, I dare you. YRC though, and then the Alpha Blade cuts him right off. So Bean definitely not out of it. I anticipate them going back in pretty quickly, so we're not going to really get to break that down. Yep, I already hear the music, we're back in. But notably there is that Bean was much more in control of the tempo. Tempo being the pacing that they're choosing to put out, and they are forcing Christian to use their defensive options much more liberally so that they don't have the advantage of using that burst gauge for, say, Wild Assault or Deflect Shield.
Most definitely. This is a little bit more reminiscent to when we last saw Bean and Christian Crab earlier in the bracket on winner's semi side. So I'm not surprised to see that Bean has really taken full control. And despite the blue RC to try to slow down, Bean was ready for it and able to clean up shop. We're already going into the second round to try to see who can take the lead over these two.
Okay, this is a lot. Yeah, Bean just doing a really great job. And then they're able to challenge the projectiles coming out of Christian. The fact that they're unafraid of the spells. Oh, the backdash gets caught. I love the idea from Christian Crab. It was just not, you know, against a character as fast as Bean on chip, it's not going to work out. The overhead into the Drift RC going to be able to get him out of mana and do the damage. Bean looked like they were in serious trouble in that first game, and as fast as that first game took, Bean puts 2 on the board, is 1 away for being the NA Road to Evo champion for Guilty Gear Strive. Oh my god, Saki, buckle up!
Buckle up indeed. Bean has been making some amazing decisions. This time though, gonna be able to get the jump kick and get hit by the burst. We're gonna get the teleport from Christian Crab, who's gonna be able to summon the cubes and force Bean to burst. But the air-to-air is going to be on the side of Bean. He's going to try to get the jump in. The trade and the whiff grab didn't have enough time to do a PRC, and that's going to be an overdrive from Bean. It's going to get the wall shatter and the area shift.
Oh my gosh, Christian Crab, buddy, what are you gonna do? Right now he gets hit by that same overhead into RC Alpha Blade combo that has been netting Bean so much damage. Unfortunately this time for Bean, Christian Crab still does have that mana. He's gonna wake up overdrive. All the DP kind of kept Bean safe for a little bit there, but now this is giving Christian the opportunity to, yeah, go ahead and select the spells. He's got to get a little bit of mana back though, because he still really can't cast. PRC, yeah, you kept yourself safe, and then 2K, 2D, Bean, 1 away. Serious outplay happening right now.
That was indeed an outplay. That is actually expert movement, utilizing your full screen overdrive to then get a red Roman cancel to follow up with that ender, and we're gonna see Bean once again take full control of this match right now. Christian Crab struggling to try to stop something, but the blue RC does get stuck, but it's still Bean who picks it up, and we're gonna get the full Alpha Blade into the 2K2D plus the OTG, and it's not looking good right now as Christian Crab gets hit, and that is it. Bean is your PlayStation Tournament's Road to Evo 2024 Guilty Gear Strive champion.
Only dropping a single game. A single game. And Bean expertly weaves their way with this chip and secures a spot at EVO Las Vegas 2024. Congratulations, Bean! Great stuff! But of course, really want to put it out there for Christian Crab. Christian Crab bringing this Asuka, who again has been seeing a little bit more popularity in the recent season, and hopefully we'll continue to see them because they did an incredible job, really did some great stuff, and we're going to see that here, especially in the first game that Christian did manage to take over Bean. But Bean, once again, was really able to outplay, in particular, using some of the invulnerability moves that Chip does have, and you know, the universally universal mechanics that make you invulnerable, that made it great so that Beam could just go ahead and do what Beam does best, using these overheads, punishing the bursts that you have here, using the Wild Assault to continue the damage. It's just, it's fantastic. And, you know, seeing some really wholesome stuff in between these players. Beam just really did an incredible job. I'm very happy for them, having seen them play for a long time. They have fought hard for this victory, and they absolutely not only deserve but earned that PlayStation Road to EVO 2024 prize package, where they will be able to compete against the best Guilty Gear players in the world.
And the final look at this beautiful bracket. Once again, congratulations first to everyone who was able to make it. This was your top 8. And of course, we're going to see Bean as the champion. Christian Crab is your second place winner. MFCR is your third, and ShinyEspeon your fourth. And of course, shout outs again to Aaron, FourFaceButtons, JayOh, and Lshore. You all did amazing, and it was a great time to watch. Jadelyn, I gotta say, if this is just a small taste of what EVO has to offer, we gotta get to EVO.
Absolutely, and there is certainly a road to EVO. Once again, if you would like to register for EVO, make sure you do that very soon at evo.gg. Just want to point out once again that you only have until June 24th to register as a player. And that one ticket gets you both into the show floor and into the arena finals for all of the games that we will be highlighting at EVO this year, which is Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus Rising, Under Night in Birth 2, Mortal Kombat 1, The King of Fighters 15, Guilty Gear Strive, and Third Strike. But speaking to your point, Saki, the Road to EVO 2024, hosted by PlayStation Tournaments, has already been off to a great start. This is one of many tournaments. This is just NA. Like I talked about last week, we had our Paris finals over in France, which was an incredible time, and we already got to see some great people rising out of that, who will be off to face Bean in July at EVO in Las Vegas 2024. So here's our broadcast schedule coming up. So June 15th, today, very soon, we have the Tekken 8 NA Finals, and then June 22nd, we have the King of Fighters NA Finals and the Street Fighter NA Finals as well. It's going to be a fantastic time. Please make sure you turn into those and support all of our players as they fight to get to EVO in Las Vegas for 2024.
Absolutely. Jadelyn, this was such a pleasure to be able to commentate with you. Such amazing Guilty Gear. I love that we were able to just vibe with each other's energy and actually enjoy some of these matches the way we know how to and the best way to do so. Once again, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in and enjoying some Guilty Gear Strive tonight with us. Thank you to PlayStation Tournaments and to EVO as well. And we will be seeing you in the next one.
I hope everybody has a great night. Tune in next time for more great Road to EVO action for Road to EVO 2024. Have a great one!
Born as something new. strangers say hello to me. Tomorrow their names will be carved on the stone. We're going home, but I'm a terrible liar. Forgive me, that's not the art of betrayal. For the sake of the day, keep crying out. Bring the soul.